While everyone was watching China build roads across Africa, something bigger was happening in workshops from Lagos to Nairobi. Machines that used to cost millions, now African entrepreneurs are buying it for the price of a used car. And you know the most amazing part, go-getters? Some of these machines aren't even imported anymore. They are being designed and built right here on the continent. In the next 12 minutes, I'll show you hard evidence of an industrial shift that's already changing African economies. Let me start with a story from Zimbabwe that proves this is real. March 2023, a company in Harare gets an order from one of Tesla's battery suppliers. They want lithium batteries made in Zimbabwe. The company started in 2021 with a $15,000 modular battery assembly line from China. Today, they are producing batteries for solar systems across Southern Africa. And guess what, go-getters? The machine paid for itself in just 10 months. But here's what caught my attention about this story. The owner told researchers something that reframes everything. I used to think we needed factories like China. Then I realized we just need their machines. And that's exactly what's happening. But numbers behind this shift, they are bigger than most people realize. Africa's process automated market is projected to grow from $17 billion in 2024 to $28 billion by 2034. We are talking of in just 10 years. That's a real 5.1% annual growth rate. That's why on the channel Go-Getters, we try our best to make sure that we help you all attain your financial independence and at the same time help the continent grow. And you know the easiest way to do that is to embark on production, right? So Go-Getters, I want you to just take a quick look at what these technologies actually do when they hit African factories. The first thing we face is productivity increase, which is always anywhere between 15 to 30%. Production output up to 10 to 30%. And now machine downtime down 30 to 50%. Isn't that amazing? Now let's go to value add, which is to me always the icing of the cake. Value add in manufacturing jumps from 15 to 25% after digitalization. Not projections, actual measured results from African factories. In Cameroon, right, machinery imports jumped 30% in Q1 2025 alone. That's companies putting real money into manufacturing equipment right now. So what's driving this? And why is this happening in Africa specifically? Now, the first thing would obviously be demographics. You should know by now that Africa has the youngest and fastest growing workforce. That creates pressure for job creation, which makes scalable manufacturing attractive. The second, and this is key, we are leapfrogging. And by leapfrogging, I simply mean that if you observe, you're going to notice that most African factories are being built from scratch. Companies can install robotics, LOT, and AI systems from day one. And the third Go-Getters is going to be policy support. The African Union's Digital Transformation Strategy 2020 to 2030 specifically targets smart manufacturing. That's continental level coordination pushing this forward. But here's what actually makes this different from previous industrial pushes. The machines themselves have changed. Let me show you what I mean. Last year, Additive Solutions in Cape Town launched the Hyrax. It's Africa's first locally manufactured metal 3D printer. The price, $180,000. That's not cheap. But compare it to the $1 million facility that used to be the only option for metal printing. Now, the first customer was a mining company, spending $50,000 monthly on spare parts from Germany. And in addition to that, it used to take about 3 months delivery time, and sometimes about $200,000 lost to downtime while waiting. Now they print those parts in-house, and it costs them just about $5,000 monthly, and delivery time 3 hours. That's amazing, right? But the real breakthrough isn't just cost savings. It's this: African engineers are now designing manufacturing technology for African conditions. What more could we ask for? Unreliable power, these machines adapt. Dust, they built for it. Need spare parts fast, some print their own replacement. Now go-getters, the question isn't if we can use technology anymore. It's whether we can create it. And the answer is increasingly yes. Just look at the pattern emerging. In Ghana, entrepreneurs now use $2,000 textile printers to supply hotel chains. One startup, EcoBlocks, turns plastic waste into paving stones using small hydraulic machines. Revenue, $3.7 million in just a year. If we go to Kenya, they've got $8,000 solar-powered food processing machines that are cutting food waste by 60% for farmer cooperatives. And in Nigeria, small plastic recycling machines are creating a $50 million industry that didn't exist 5 years ago. Now, it might interest you to know that Ethiopia's industrial parks are showing double-digit annual growth directly tied to technology adaptation. Now, in South Africa, it's even the icing of the cake. Reports are coming in that digital transformation in small transformation enterprises dramatically reduces errors and boosts productivity. This go-getters isn't happening in 1 or 2 countries. It is continental. Now, for decades, the story was simple. Africa exports raw materials and imports finished goods. But something fundamental changed in the global economy. Technology costs crashed while shipping costs and supply chain risk exploded. COVID proved that global supply chains break. Wars disrupts shipping. Currency swing makes imports unpredictable. Suddenly, local manufacturing isn't just competitive. It's necessary for business survival. And Africa has a specific advantage. Now, I want you to listen to this. 5G adoption is projected to add nearly $11 billion to sub-Saharan Africa's GDP, with major gains in manufacturing productivity and supply chain resilience. Now, go-getters, you know I've always got your back, right? I've got something extremely important to share with you. A lot of you along the way for these 2 years that we've been together have been asking, oh, Elvin, please, we really want to start businesses, but our main fears are at the level of how to go about making sure that we succeed in our venture. You've always been complaining of things like wanting to track your manufacturing venture properly, right? You guys have often met me with complaints like wanting to track your manufacturing cost properly, right? I've got good news for you. I've created a complete set of business management templates. And I am talking about the exact tools that African entrepreneurs need. Personal finance trackers that work with our currencies and our banking systems. Business performance templates that track what actually matters. Cash flow sheets that helps you see where every dollar goes. Because lots of you stay in the diaspora but want to do business in the continent. So this one is going to be so instrumental to you. And last but not the least, inventory management systems for small and medium businesses. So in that one document, go-getters, I've tried as much as possible to tackle all your fears. So whether you're running a small workshop with 1 machine or scaling up to 10 employees, these templates give you the financial clarity that banks and investors want to see. So after this, I don't want to get any complaints anymore, alright? The link is right in the comment section and in our about page, obviously. Trust me, go-getters, I've got to understand that you can have the best manufacturing machine in the world, but if you can't track your numbers properly, you are building on sand. Alright, that said, back to the revolution. Let me quickly address the obvious criticisms here. So as always, some experts argue that this is just new dependency. You are still buying Chinese machines. You are not building real industrial capacity. They are not wrong to think that way, right? But the thing is, they are missing the bigger picture. I see it this way, right? Every machine we buy is a learning opportunity. The truth is, at the level of expertise, we are still new in the game, right? So let's look at it this way. Every African operator becomes a teacher in future, right? Every problem we solve locally builds knowledge. Research shows that African factory adopting Industry 4.0 technology aren't just using it. They are adopting it, modifying it, and eventually improving it. In 5 years to come, for instance, when these machines need upgrading, who do you think will design the next generation? The answer is already emerging in Cape Town, Nairobi, Lagos, and Douala. The question isn't about dependency today, it's about capability tomorrow. And data shows we are building that capability. Imagine 2030, your cousin in the diaspora wants to start a manufacturing business back home. And instead of importing machines from China, she orders from Lagos, for instance, or let's say Nairobi or Johannesburg. The support is in local languages. Parts are made locally. Financing comes from banks that understand African conditions. This isn't speculations, go-getters. It's already happening. I actually met up with this guy here in Cameroon who is actually producing a lot of production machines that I am going to be introducing to you all on the channel pretty soon, right? And guess what? This man went ahead to assure me that he can produce any machine, and I want to believe him. So I am still working on the project, right? I am still trying to find out how credible he is, and I am definitely going to be putting him out there. So it's crystal clear that it's just a matter of time. We aren't going to be importing anything. When I mean anything, I mean from foodstuff to production machines. Now, do you know that South African companies are already exporting manufacturing machines to other African countries? As we speak, Ethiopian machinery competes with Chinese imports. Moroccan food processing equipment spreads across West Africa. The African Union's strategy specifically aims for this: technology creation, not just adoption. And here's something the data shows clearly. Advanced African factories using new technology aren't cutting jobs. They are hiring more people because they are more competitive and producing more. Now that brings me back to this African proverb that I love so much that says, when the roots of a tree begins to decay, it spreads death to the branches. For too long, we built economic branches while our manufacturing roots stayed weak. These machines are strengthening those roots. So here's my question. If Ghana startups can compete with $2,000 machines, if Zimbabwean companies supplied Tesla's network, if Cape Town engineers build industrial 3D printers, what's your role in this? Because remember, we are talking about a revolution. It might be silent for now, but it is actually fast evolving. So to you, the diaspora, I want you to understand that the Africa you left is changing fast. Manufacturing opportunities exist right now. And for the entrepreneurs, I'll tell you to stop waiting for the perfect factory. Start with the machine that fits your pockets and your workshop. And for you, the investors, I want you to understand that The next industrial revolution isn't in Silicon Valley. The numbers prove it's happening here. The age of African manufacturing has begun, not with government programs or foreign aid, but with data-driven decisions and accessible technology in the hands of determined entrepreneurs. So the question isn't whether this will happen. The data shows it already happening, right? Now the only question left is, will you participate? I always say that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. And the second best time is now. So what are you planting, go-getters? If these numbers and stories opened your eyes to what's happening in the continent right now, please do well to like this video and share it with as many people as possible. For as I always say, the more we empower Africans, the greater Africa will be. I'd also love you to tell me in the comment section what manufacturing changes you are seeing in your area, right? That's it. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll definitely see you on my next one.